going to do some right realist 20 markers. And the first one we're going to look at is surveillance. So surveillance is on that 20 marker list. Never come up under the new specification. Probably would say something like surveillance is an effective mechanism to socially control. Explain why sociologists hold this view. They tend to do a hold this view thing. But surveillance is an effective mechanism to socially control. Explain why sociologists hold this view. Now, this one is, and I'll probably say some of them, is trickier because it's actually very narrow, which means it means you have to have more detail about what you've got. So with this one, I don't really like, I found it a bit tricky. So I will start with the definition. So surveillance is a close observation of a person, place, or group. It takes the form of CCTV, police stop and search, so it takes the place in the form of CCTV or police stop and search or target hardening. Right realists argue that surveillance is an effective way to control us, effective way to socially control. As they share the view with Hobbes that humanity is greedy and selfish. So surveillance is critical. A little intro. That they think surveillance, when really the form, I said to you a little intro, should have an overview. So they know I'm going to discuss CCTV, stop and search, target hardening, and that it's right realists who believe that actually we need surveillance in order to effectively socially control us. So that's my little intro. And I've got Hobbes in there, as a sociologist. My paragraph 1 is Murray. So Murray argued that surveillance can help produce the underclass who have deviant, subcultural values. They are responsible for the criminal problem as their values include acquiring money, being separate from work, marriage, separate from childbearing. And men prove masculinity through violence. To address this, we need the certainty of getting caught. This is achieved via CCTV and severe punishment. We need the certainty of getting caught. This is achieved via CCTV and severe punishment, both corporal and capital. So look, Murray argued that surveillance can help reduce crime, and the underclass have a deviant subcultural values. They are responsible for the criminal problem as their values include acquiring money being separate from work, marriage is separate from childbearing, and men prove their masculinity through violence. To address this, we need the certainty of getting caught, and this is achieved via CCTV or constant surveillance. And severe punishment, both corporal and capital. This shows surveillance is an effective way to socially control. As all criminals can be caught and their public punishment, or the public punishment, will act as a deterrent to others. So surveillance is an effective way to socially control. Effective way to socially control. All criminals will be caught and their public punishment will act as a deterrent to others. As they know, they will always be caught and punished severely. Right, that's paragraph 1. Paragraph 2. Surveillance can take the form of administrative criminology or target hardening. You can take the form of an administrative criminology or target hardening. Target hardening involves surveillance on groups, surveillance on groups, areas, and individuals who, as a preemptive surveillance can take the form of administrative criminology or target hardening. Target hardening involves the preemptive surveillance of groups, areas, and individuals as a way to reduce the opportunity to commit crime. Clark argued that there are 3 types of offenders. Opportunistic, supplementary, or criminal. Supplementary or criminal. Target hardening. Addresses opportunistic and supplementary. And active citizens are needed to surveillance the career or professionals. See, I'm trying to use surveillance there. This shows surveillance is an effective mechanism to socially control. As areas or as pockets of crime as targeting pockets of crime means it reduces people's ability to offend. As targeting pockets of crime means it reduces people's ability to offend due to constant surveillance from police. Reduces their physical ability because of police. Okay, that's paragraph 2. Paragraph 3, I'm going to mash up here Clark and Coleman with Wilson. So, Clark and Coleman the benefits of crime must be outweighed by the costs. He advocated both corporal and capital punishment. For Wilson, incivilities must be kept minimal. For Wilson, incivilities must be kept minimal. So littering and low-level acts of crime must be addressed to prevent the spread or to prevent further acts of crime. They're quite short, and then this shows surveillance ensures that any minor acts are addressed, and this prevents the spread of more serious crimes in a community or in society. So I've got Hobbes briefly in the top one. Murray's just in paragraph 1. Paragraph 2 is Clark. Paragraph 3 is Clark and Coleman with Wilson. So paragraph 3 is definitely veering off into a direction that doesn't focus in on surveillance until I do the this shows, which is saying, well, look, the only way to ensure minor acts are addressed is to ensure that we have surveillance, which stops the spread in communities and in society. So it's a brief, it's got less sociologists to deal with it. And therefore, we have to know those right realists really well. So yeah, surveillance, effectively socially controlling. Paragraph 1, it ensures that they are always caught and acts as a deterrent. Paragraph 2 is what it does is it reduces people's ability to ever offend in the first place. And paragraph 3, it ensures that crime can't spread. So this is paragraph 1, just to remind you, is that it acts as a deterrent. Paragraph 2 is they can never commit a crime even to begin with. And paragraph 3 is it stops it spreading. So if you wanted to, you could even do that in the intro. It stops it spreading. It prevents the ability from a crime from even taking place. And it acts as a deterrent if you wanted to. Because that's kind of the flow I've ended up with. Okay, folks, so write that one out for me. I'd like you to write it out into a Google Doc this time. Try and use that instead. And then again, though, it still needs to be summarised into your yellow specs, please. Because obviously when you come to revise, you are going to look at that 20 marker grid. It's going to be your lifeline. So just make sure it's summarised in there just to help you out in future. Help your future selves out. Okay, folks, thank you very much. And I will see you soon.